Today, I run an oral writing and language test, hopefully an entire test. If not, it's going to be like 3 passages, at least 3 passages. And I meant not to send the soft copy of the test so as to ensure an effective participation from everyone. It's going to be different from conventional or traditional examinations or tests because it's an oral after all. And believe me, the oral today is going to be a better way of testing your understanding and maybe correcting your mistakes and misconceptions on the spot, right away. During answering each question, I'll give hints where a piece of information is missing, which I believe it would help you to make other connections. You will understand more, believe me. The only downside of this oral test is maybe time, okay? It would take a lot of time, but no worries, we do have the time, okay? And let's right away get in gear. Are you ready? But first, let me be clear about it. Let me clear the air here. This is the process we will try as much as we can to follow. I'll give time, okay, like 30 up to 1 minute to answer each question, okay? Depending on the difficulty of the question, and comment on your answers and explain why we chose an answer rather than other answers. Perfect? Fast fashion slows down. In most US cities, the presence of blue recycling bins alongside the ubiquitous black trash bins is no longer an innovation. Most people are used to separating recyclable materials from their landfill-bound trash, even in public waste bins. The question now, question number 1, and it is choice of words. I'm just gonna give you like 40 seconds to answer this question, okay? Is it innovation, you keep it as is, or something else? Waiting for you. Kenzie C, Myrna C, Ahmed B, Omar C, okay. And I want people here to underline or circle no longer. And let me read it this way. In most US cities, the presence of blue recycling bins alongside the ubiquitous black trash bins. And ubiquitous, by the way, it is a very good common SAT vocabulary. Ubiquitous means what? Appearing everywhere. Okay, but this is not the issue here. So in most US cities, the presence of blue recycling bins alongside the ubiquitous black trash bins is no longer an innovation. Most people are used to separating recyclable materials from their landfill-bound trash, even in public waste bins. If you read the second sentence, like people are used to doing it, you got the point, right? And if you read the previous sentence, the previous part, like the trash bins is no longer an innovation, okay? But first, let us write the meaning. Those who went for B, deviation, and I want you to write departure from the norm, something different, something we are not used to seeing it, okay? Then we have got novelty, and remember this adjective, novel as an adjective, it's new. So novelty means what? Something new or unusual. And miracle, of course, you know miracle, what does it mean? You know, like exceptional, extraordinary event, extraordinary, okay, extraordinary event or something special, okay? So in that case, bearing in mind the no longer here And the other part of the sentence, most people are used to separating recyclable materials from their landfill-bound trash, even in public waste bins. I will never go for what? I will never go for innovation, okay? But I should admit that innovation is quite close. But remember, it's not the bins themselves that were an innovation, okay? So it's something like something new, okay? In that case, I'll go for definitely for what? For C, okay? Again, it's not a miracle, that's for sure. It's not a deviation if you don't know the meaning of deviation. Now you know the meaning. Hey, innovation, no. Innovation, ya binti, it's a new way of doing something, okay? A new way of doing something. So I'm going to write it here. Innovation, so write it down, please. Innovation. A new way, ابتكار, a new way of doing something, okay? So they are not, as a matter of fact, they are not similar at all, okay? So novelty, something new, something unusual. That's question number one. Let's here go to question number two. And I think question number two is easy. Question number two, I want you to write here, please, tone and style. Tone and style, okay? And in tone and style here, and I think it's an easy question, it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds, okay? And we start it from here. In mini till recycling, which choice best maintains the style and tone of the passage? Style and tone of the passage. Are you ready for this? Go ahead, waiting for you. Let's go to question number two and the tone and style. And when I say tone and style, I'm talking about what as well? Register. What is the register? It either informal or conversational, or what else? Or formal. Okay? And sometimes very formal. And as we always say, we don't go for the very formal, we don't go for the conversational or the informal, but we have to go for what? Formal, okay? So let us start this one. In many cities, composting, like decaying of plants, and then we use this compost in cultivation, okay, or let us say agriculture. In many cities, composting is even becoming a standard third component of waste separation. But one area that's just kicking off, and kicking off, that's quite conversational. When I say, let us kick off, you can say that to one of your friends. Let us kick off, okay? Let us start. Of course, we'll never go for kick off. Even fixing to start still, who said too formal? You said too informal, maybe. I don't know your name, you write C, okay? But this is too informal, kicking off too informal. Even fixing to start, and for me, it's again, it's informal, okay? Getting in gear, you remember, and I started my lesson today when you started the introduction, I said, let us get in gear. Let us get in gear means what? Let us start. Again, it's informal. But gaining traction, even if you don't know the meaning of traction, okay, so you need to go for this one. Even if you don't know the meaning of traction, and I want you to write here traction or gaining traction means what? Starting to become popular. Starting to become popular. So let us read it with that meaning. In many cities, composting is even becoming a standard third component of waste separation, but one area that is just becoming or starting to become popular is what? Is textile recycling. And I think we're going to be talking the rest of the passage about what? About textile recycling. A question here, also fixing to start doesn't fit the sentence. Yes, you are definitely right. What is the difference between traction and attraction? Attraction, like fascination, okay? Attraction, fascination, when you are attracted to something, but traction, when you keep track of, it's out of track of. So, and it has to do with what being popular in a way, okay? So gaining as an idiomatic expression, gaining traction, remember it means what? Starting to become popular. Let us go through question number what? Question number 3. And question number 3, I think it's easy, and I'm going to start it from here. A few cities have begun to collect textiles, okay, as part of their curbside recycling programs, along with the more customary cardboard and glass. But such programs to collect textiles generally require specially designed multi-compartment recycling trucks. And then I'm going to leave you with the question, okay? Here we have got a dash, and here we have got a bracket or a parenthesis, and here another parenthesis. Yumna, Zainab, Maryam, Asma, okay? Everybody said D, okay? I think it's an easy question, okay? Of course, we have to go for D. Remember, non-essential, thank you, Yoasim. Non-essential can be set off by what? 2 commas, 2 dashes, or what else? Or 2 parentheses, okay? You cannot go for both. Mister, why not C? Okay, if you say C, can you accept dash then parentheses? This is completely wrong. That does not set off the what? The non-essential. You got it. Now, let us go to question number 4. Textile recycling is in its infancy. Infancy, like it's still beginning. But it has a potential to make a big impact, a big influence, okay? The average American discards 70 pounds of clothing each year, believe it or not. Only 15% of which is recycled, okay? Most probably we're going to do question number 4 and 5 together because it has to do with what? With the graph. Okay, remember this one. Remember this one. I'm going to underline it here. The average American discards 70 pounds of clothing each year, only 15% of which is recycled. Let's go to the graph here. Here we have estimated recycling rates in the United States. Okay, remember, I'm going to say the question again. The average American discards 70 pounds of clothing each year, only 15% of which is recycled. Here, estimated recycling rates in the United States. And we are talking here about what? We are talking here about clothing, right? So clothing here, it's here. Is it only 15%? I think it's 15% only recycled percentage of what? Of recycling. So I think A is correct as is. Okay, I'm sorry because you don't have the paper, so I can tell you this. A. Are you all convinced with that? Let's go to number 5. The writer wants to support the paragraph's main idea. And see, the paragraph main idea is what? The first sentence is very important here. Textile recycling is in its infancy, but it has a potential to make a big impact. That's the main idea of the paragraph. With an accurate, to support, the writer wants to support the paragraph's main idea with accurate, relevant information from the graph. Which choice most effectively accomplishes this goal? And let us read this starting from here. Of the most commonly recycled materials, only, remember only, and we circle words like that in the infographics questions. Only rubber and leather are recycled at a higher rate than clothing. Let us go to the graph and see and I want you to tell me whether it's correct or incorrect. Rubber and leather. Rubber and leather are recycled at a higher rate than clothing. Is it correct or incorrect? Of course, no. Higher rate than clothing? No. We have got also yard trimmings. We have got all of these are what? Higher than what? Higher than clothing. So in that case, in order not to disturb you that much, okay, I'll go for, look at this one, we are in number 5. Number 5, I'll go for B, and let us read B together. Plastic and wood are recycled at a lower rate than what? Than clothing. And remember the word what? Only. Let us see this one. Let us see this one. Again, plastic and wood are recycled at a lower rate than clothing. Only plastic and what? And wood. Where is plastic and wood? Plastic and wood. It's here. Plastic and wood. Yeah. Here plastic and here wood. Okay. Both of them, if you can see, lower. Both of them are what يا شباب? Lower than clothing. So in that case, only plastic and wood. Okay, hopefully you understand. And question number 6, and I want you to start reading. If I were you, okay, I would start reading from here. Not only can cities save on trash pickup and disposal costs by encouraging their residents to recycle unwanted textiles, and of course reusing clothing can also save resources by reducing the amount of new clothing that needs to be manufactured. Okay, can you scroll up? Okay, I'll scroll up here. Okay, remember يا شباب, not only. You remember not only, right? Not only, of course, you need what? But also, right? If I said a sentence like that, okay, he not only finished the project, okay, but are we going to solve the whole section? Yes. But he also submitted it. Okay. So if I asked you now, would you start with not only? If we started with not only, what will happen? We'll do sort of what? Inversion. So I'm going to start with not only. يبقى not only did he finish the project, but he also submitted it. Hopefully you understand what happens when we start with what? With not only. So what happens is a sort of what we need to invert. Hopefully you understand. So this is number 6, and I think number 6 is easy. Okay, what you need to write here, not only but also. You have to write it. So here, number 7. Surprisingly, of course, I'm going to help you with this. Means what? Unexpectedly. Of course, you know it. Unexpectedly. However, it's a contrast. ومع ذلك, moreover, like what? Besides or in addition. Okay, and here we have got what? For example, here يا شباب, what do you think? And remember, we started this way. Not only the cities save on trash pickup and disposal costs by encouraging their residents to recycle unwanted textiles, but clothing can also save resources by reducing the amount of new clothing that needs to be manufactured. For example, producing enough virgin cotton for one pair of jeans requires 1,800 gallons of water. Buying a pair of jeans second-hand saves the water. Okay, what do you think? Everybody went for A. Okay, thank you very much. I'll go for A as well. And I want you to write the rule. This is how I use for example. When you use for example, and it has to be preceded by what? General information. And here it has to be followed by what? Specific piece of information. You got the point? This is how we use, for example. Remember this. General, and the second one, thank you, Yusuf Said, general, and the second one has to be what? Specific information. And I think it was very clear here. For example, if you read this part, for example, producing enough virgin cotton for one pair of jeans requires, that's very specific. So that's why we went for A. Thank you. Question number 8, and it's here, and I need to start from so-called fast fashion chains that produce trendy, low-cost, and according to critics, low-quality clothing. What about this kind of fast fashion chains? Are often singled out, okay? So in terms of subject and verb, if we are asked about subject and verb, okay? So this is a subject. Where is the verb? Starting from here. Are often singled out, that's the verb. As one of the primary causes of the increase in clothing waste in the US in recent decades. But at least one such chain, the Swedish retailer H&M, of course you know that business, big business H&M, is also trying to rein in clothing waste by offering 15% off coupons to consumers who bring unwanted clothing. Have you asked yourself, what does it mean, rein in? And something else, when you see a comma here and a comma here, do you think even if rein in is correct, do you think we need the comma? For A and C, I will never go for them because of the commas. Is also trying to rein in clothing, so no commas are needed here. So we crossed out what? A and C. Rein in, it's out of rain. I have got here rain, and I want you to write the meaning of rain for people who don't know. Rain as a noun, let us say rain as a noun. You know the strap, عارفين اللجام بتاع الحصان, attached to the horse's bit. But here rain, if it is a ligam, يبقى something that you can control, something that you can guide, something that you can limit or restrict. Rein as a verb, it means excellent, limit, or restrict. Do we need this meaning? Sure, we need it here. Okay, let us read again. But at least one such chain, the Swedish retailer H&M, is also trying to what? To limit clothing waste, control clothing waste, by offering what? 15% off coupons to consumers who bring unwanted clothing of any brand to their stores for recycling. Or as a consumer, if you bring your old or second-hand clothing to the H&M, we're gonna what? Give you a 15%. They take these sort of old clothes and what? And they recycle them, okay? As a contribution from them to the what? To the environmental, whatever, critical issues in the world, okay? Perfect. So hopefully you understand. In that case, we'll go for this one, and I want people to write limit or control. Thank you. Then let us go to question number 9. Which choice provides the most effective transition from the previous paragraph? And I'm going to give you time to do this one. Which choice provides the most effective transition from the previous paragraph? What we need to do here, sort of consistency of ideas. We need to go back to the what? To the previous paragraph. And I'm going to let you see it. Previous paragraph. And then you're going to start reading here. The previous paragraph, remember, this is the previous paragraph. So-called fast fashion chains that produce trendy, low-cost, and according to critics, low-quality clothing are often singled out as one of the primary causes of the increase in clothing waste. And then some efforts by H&M in order to what? In order to help the world to what? To recycled old clothes, okay? The company goal is to eventually collect 25,000 tons of clothing for recycling each year, okay? And here, the first step is reuse. Any items still in usable conditions are sold secondhand. Non-usable items are shredded for use as insulation. They are repurposed as cleaning rags or recycled to make fabric for new clothing, okay? What do you think? What goes more with it? Do we go for A, hopefully other retailers will institute similar programs, apply, put into action similar program? Of course, no. Recycling that quantity of clothing is done in several steps. Okay, several steps, and here you're talking about the first step and then a second step. So I think you are very close to this one. Thank you. It is B. Okay. Of course, C and D, they don't create a sort of consistency of ideas. Thank you very much. Okay. Type. Let us go for question number 10. And question number 10 has to do with listing. Okay, how do you know, teacher, it's listing? We have got, remember, we have got more than one comma here. So we have got here comma, wait a minute, we have got a comma here, and then another one here. So everything has to be what? Parallel. Everything has to be parallel. So let us read together. It's here. Non-usable items are shredded for use as insulation. So are shredded. 2, they are repurposed. We don't need the they here, okay? Because the last one, recycled to make what? Fabric for new clothes. We don't have to repeat are and they. In that case, very good. Who said B? Who said B? Okay, perfect. So in that case, we'll go for this one. Then let's go to question number, question number what? Question number 11. Subject verb agreement, okay? I'm telling you now, subject verb agreement. Take your time, but where is the subject and where is the verb? Subject technology, verb is, thank you very much. Okay, so this is quite an easy question, ya shabab. So here the subject is the technology, thank you very much. And here, this is the verb, it has to be what? Is. Thank you very much. I'll go for B. You can ask yourself a very simple and prudent question. What is it? All of them are plural, okay? Have is plural, where is plural, and even A is plural, right? A, we have got are, okay? So all of them are plural except what? This one is singular, so you have to what? To go to the what? Singular, without questioning it, okay? This is passage number 1. And I think the most, I'm going to tell you like my comment on the whole passage. The most difficult question here that people found it difficult is maybe question number 1. Maybe question number 1. Maybe because people didn't know what a novelty is, what a deviation is, but hopefully now people wrote down, deviation means what? Please write it down. Departure from the norm. What novelty means what? Something new, unusual, a miracle, something exceptional, extraordinary, okay? And of course here we have what else? Innovation, of course. Trash bins were not an innovation, okay? Hopefully you understand. Tone and style. Tone and style, even if you don't know the tone and style, you still can do the question. And here maybe question number 8. People are aware now. Rein, لجام الحصان, okay? And rein as a verb means what? To control or limit or even to guide, okay? If you're taking it from the noun, okay? And we said no commas before the prepositions or no commas after the prepositions, okay? So let me clear the air here, okay?